Hello, my name is Jennifer Terri. I'm with Philippine Travel Updates. Kumusta kayo guys? How are you all? It's been raining here nonstop in Davao. I hope you're all alright. Today is January 17 po. Let's talk about travel updates, changes. There's been a lot of going on, no? Manila Airport has an advisory. The general manager of the airport has a message. According to General Manager Edmond Real, he is appealing to passengers. Be responsible travelers and mind your safety and the safety of others. What does he mean? His message is simple. For passengers to wait for their RT-PCR test result or COVID test result and not go to the airport if they test positive for COVID. Whether this is local or international flight, wait for the test result before going to the airport. According to him po, there were some passengers, more than 500 passengers last year, went to the airport with a positive test result. My gulay. I think it also creates confusion because we know that there are countries, right, like US, Canada. If you have recently recovered from COVID, you can bring your positive test result and recovery letter. Pero that is if you have finished isolation. If you test positive now, you must go home and isolate first. Yan. I think some travelers were also optimistic na negative talaga to. Tapos pagdating pala sa airport, naku, positive pala. So yun lang guys, don't go to the airport if you have not received your result. What if you're positive? This is happening a lot. Actually, there were some who were stranded, supposed to go back to the US or to their origin country or go back to work abroad, ng mga OFWs. They test positive. Supposed to be flight na sana. So guys, if you test positive, there are two options that I can think of. The first one, if you test positive, especially if RT-PCR po, that's the gold standard, most reliable type of test that we have is, if nag-positive po kayo, the first option is isolate. For now, di ba, the protocols of DOH is that if you're positive and asymptomatic or mild, you stay at home. If possible naman, if your home qualifies for home quarantine, for 7 days of fully vaccinated. If unvaccinated, it's 10 days, di ba? So, yep, that's the first option po if nag-positive. That is to isolate, report to LGU. The second option is get another test. Especially if antigen tests, they're not the most reliable. This is what Ann did. I just got back from Pinas, did antigen test sa PadLab sa airport, tested positive twice. For some reason, ang daming nag-positive result doon sa airport. Ang daming naabala. Cancelled flight ko, all they said is rebook na lang po ng flight, tapos balik kayo dito after 3 days. After 3 for another test. Haha, kala nila hindi magastos pa rebook. Did the antigen twice again sa dalawang magkaibang hospital, tested negative. So yes, that's what she did. She took another test. She said, do the antigen testing sa ibang clinic or hospital within 24-hour time frame sa departure. Hope this helps. Oh. That's another option. Especially if antigen test lang, get another swab. While not so good news, the travel cap, guys. Have you been hearing news? Many people are saying, ay, na-cancel yung flight ko. My flight is canceled po. My flight is canceled. Yes, it's the season again. This is no surprise, and the airlines are not to blame, guys. The IATF brings back the NAIA capacity to just 3,000 po. 3,000 arrival cap. Yes, from 6,000, ginawa na namang 3,000. In an advisory by the Philippine Civil Aeronautics Board last January 7, sent to government offices and diplomatic posts, CAB Executive Director said that the cap for the number of international passengers arriving in NAIA is at maximum 3,000 per day, effective January 12, Manila time. Opo. Yan po. So, kaya nga po maraming cancellations. And with a reduced travel cap, maraming cancellation, mas mahal din yung ticket. According to CAB Executive Director Carmelo Arcilla, airlines operating in an area that will exceed the allowed capacity will be meted with appropriate penalty. Yes, there is a penalty to airlines na lumampas sa allowable capacity nila. It's your airlines really want to fly you guys. They want to operate. They are not to blame, no? This is why I suggest when booking po, before we book our flight, tingnan muna natin what is their terms and conditions when it comes to cancellation of flights, rebooking, or refund. The reduction of travel cap is due to the fact po that there is a rising incidence of COVID-19 infections among passengers and airport staff. With Philippine Airlines said that they are really doing their best, guys, to accommodate you, and with this travel cap in Manila, they will have to reroute some flights in other airports like Subic, Bayan, or Lawa if they project that arrivals in Manila will breach the allocation assigned to PAL. Oh, diba? 3,000, maghati-hati po yung lahat ng airlines. If I'm correct, Philippine Airline gets 40% or 40% of that 3,000. So like for example today, guys, there were 18 airlines, 18 airlines. Kung 3,000, nasa 40%, PAL, 1,2 na. So ilan na lang naiwan? 1,8. With that 1,800 divided by 18 airlines, 100. It's like they can have 100 passengers in a day lang. Diba? Kaya wag na po kayong magtaka kung sa eroplano nyo maluwag, or pwede ding sometimes airlines have to cancel the flight and consolidate na lang yung flights para hindi sila din lugi. While another not so good news, Philippine the Toxicare po, if you nano FWs, if you chose the Toxicare and I was actually hoping to avail the early swab kasi early swab, early release. Unfortunately, that has been suspended. The early swab option with the Toxicare is unavailable because they are short-staffed, guys. So yes, there is only a regular COVID RT-PCR. So you'll be swabbed in between 6 a.m. to pwedeng mga 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. po. The results will be released still within 24 hours naman. So far, consistent, okay naman yan. Natutubad naman yung within 24 hours. You have the option to pay in advance or pay at the hotel na lang when the swabbers arrive in your hotel. While the NoVax, no-ride policy. Minors po who are under 18 can fly. Unvaccinated na minors po, 18 years old and below, are allowed. 18 years old below can travel po even if unvaccinated, but they must be returning resident, meaning they should be going home to their residence, hindi yung for leisure. Yan. And they must be accompanied by a fully vaccinated adult. And proof of residency must be presented and other LG requirements if meron. Just bring proof of residency lang. Kahit yung ID or even yung sa birth certificate nyo, it shows where you were born, diba? That's already proof na dun ka nakatira. So anything, guys, that you can show if you don't have any acceptance letter sa purok or barangay. While po it maybe positive good news naman, for those na mag-test positive or tested positive in their quarantine sa hotel, one of the things na nakakapag-delay, that causes delay in their release, is yung certificate from BOQ, stating that you have finished your isolation, diba? The good thing po is BOQ will be issuing the BOQ certificates for those who test positive online. So One Health Pass po, you can access na. Just choose, go to onehealthpass.com.ph and go to track swab test result. Nandoon na po sa baba, makikita nyo po yung BOQ certificate. Pwede na po daw. According to BOQ, this was sent by the director. Automatic generation of the recovered certificate po sa mga nag-positive is already implemented in One Health Pass. Please instruct all positive na on the 8th day onwards, check their One Health Pass for them to get their certificates. As of today, they already published 3,237 certificates of recovery. Ayan. So at least hindi nyo na paulit-ulit tawagan kasi BOQ is hard to reach. Mahirap kayo i-reach BOQ. So it's easier kung online na talaga. So that is kahit man lang mabawasan yung stress ng mga nag-positive. While those who quarantine with a positive person. So let's say, for example, family, husband or wife, the husband is positive, the wife is negative, they quarantine together. Isolation or quarantine of individuals with companions. So let's say individuals with minor adult companions and opt to continue isolate or quarantine together in one room. So that's the thing, guys. If you stay in the same room, the fully vaccinated close contact, ikaw yung companion, will follow the isolation period of the confirmed case if you stay in one room. While if the close contact is partially or unvaccinated, they shall complete the recommended quarantine period of at least 14 days from the date of swabbing. In case that they want to be discharged early, then they should get an acceptance letter to continue home quarantine. Ay, naku, Jai. So, mahirap po talaga pag nag-positive. Kung nagkasama po kayo sa hotel, let's say, husband and wife quarantine together, one person is positive, and the other person is unvaccinated, 14 days quarantine. Unless you get an LGU acceptance letter to do home quarantine. So, just a recap of what we talked about today. First thing is, don't go to the airport if you don't have your negative test result. And if you test positive, supposed to be for your flight, going back abroad or leaving abroad, first thing is, if there's not really enough time, you don't have resources, rebook your flight. The airline will not charge you. As long as you have proof that you're positive, you have to rebook your flight. Another option is, rebook and isolate. Another option is to get tested again if you have resources. But if you isolate, guys, don't forget to report to your LGU so that you can be issued a certificate then. Second is the travel cap, 3,000. It's slashed into half. Expect flight changes, rerouting. If you are rerouted to another airport, the protocol is the same in all airports. So if you're from green list, fully vaccinated, no quarantine pa din. Kahit pa punta kayo sa Bohol, sa Lawag, the protocol is the same to all airports. Except for a little difference in Cebu, there is swabbed upon arrival at the airport. But that swab has no power. Only the swab in the hotel has the power to release you from quarantine. Next is early swab option with Toxicare is unavailable. Minors, unvaccinated, can travel, but they must travel with fully vaccinated adults and have proof of residency. While I just want to add, if you guys are traveling to Korea announced that starting January 20, they will also require 48 hours RT-PCR, same with the Philippines. But for those who are merely transit or layover in Korea, don't worry. Wala pong requirement ang Korea ng RT-PCR. Exempted po ang layover. This is all for today, guys. Medyo mahaba ang update natin today. Stay safe po kayo and God bless you. Bye.